Hello, this is Brianna Washington.
This is Catherine Schomburger.
This is presentation 1. Oh, man.
She can't use the mouse.
There you go.
For my first search, I used I used marriage and adultery for the terms and connectors. But the only thing that came up with for cases was basically just talking about how people can get divorced if they commit adultery and things like that. And then I also found this statute for Tennessee Code Annotated 36-4-101 on the grounds of divorce, that you basically, like I just said, that you can get a divorce if you or your other spouse commit adultery. And then I did another search using alienation of affections and got the key number system that provided me with marriage and cohabitation / damages. And it basically just said how alienation of affection is adultery, but it's when the third party is the aggressor or the one who's caused either spouse to fraternize with him or her and began to neglect the spouse who isn't cheating. And this case here, Foster v. Copeland, is basically stating how the husband was able to sue the third party that was cheating with his wife and get rewarded damages in $250.
And now I'm going to show you how I found my case on Westlaw. So, going to sign in, agree, and I keep all my client IDs brief, simple. All right, so I'm already in Tennessee, but if you in somewhere else, you go right here, find Tennessee and save. And I use terms and connectors, and I pretty much just search cause of action, same sentence as alienation of affections. Search that. And my top search that I found was Lentz versus Baker and Dupuis versus Hand. And those were the top ones that I found. And then Lentz and versus Baker basically was saying a husband brought the actions up to the circuit court of Anderson County, and the verdict was not inconsistent, claim was not to be barred, but the Court of Appeals lacked power to abolish tort of alienation of affection. And all the way at the bottom is going to show you that it's abolished, and this was in 1989, almost pretty much before they first abolished it. So, and the other one, Dupuis versus Hand, is almost similar. The judge the appeal was taken from order of the law court of Montgomery County, which is in Nashville. And the judge sitting by interchange with the consent of the parties had authority to enter the judgment. But overall, alienation of affection is abolished. That was always the end of everything of those two, of our cases anyway for Tennessee. And in summary,
on May 25th, 1989, the common law tort, even though she spelled fort, was abolished by the Tennessee General Assembly, but didn't go into effect until July 1st, 1989, resulting in the Tennessee Code Annotated Statute 23-3-105 being amended to reflect that exact change. However, the question of whether or not the tort had already been abolished or not was the issue in Dupuis, I can't pronounce that, versus Hand. Before the tort was abolished, the elements needed to file the claim against the spouse or third party that was responsible for the adultery in the marriage required evidence of mental anguish, loss of second position, disgrace, humiliation, and embarrassment, in addition to actual loss due to destruction and or disruption of marriage and loss of financial support.
These are the 3 sites that we use: the Depews versus Hand, Foster versus Copeland, and Lentz versus Baker. All was in the Southwestern Reporter, pretty much second edition. And that is the end of ours.